Mr. Speaker, I'm here to debate Bill C-271, an act to amend the Governor General's Act. This act would make the Governor General's salary $1 a year annually and remove the right to retiring annuity and amends other acts in consequence. When I read just the title of this act, I was actually interested in having a meaningful review and discussion about what next steps Canada has to do to look at this area and the realities that we've seen over the last while. Sadly, the actual content of the bill is not a serious attempt to reform how the Governor General is selected, and it would limit, obviously, potential candidates to those that are independently wealthy. For me, having more wealthy people in seats of power is simply not a priority. It is obvious that we need some changes. With the most recent situation with Julie Payette, there is no doubt. The Prime Minister failed to undertake basic due diligence in the vetting process. If this was a piece of legislation that spoke to creating clearer rules and guidelines around vetting, I would be very interested in the content. It is true. I personally feel that Ms. Payette does not merit the pension or perks because really she did fail in her duties. There should be a much better vetting process and a more clear pathway around consequences when a person does not serve this important role appropriately. I believe that the member and I agree that instead of paying her for the rest of her life, the Prime Minister needs to send a message that Canada's public institutions will not be a safe haven for those who abuse their employees. I think that this is an important factor and needs meaningful action. However, this bill is not that. Canadians know that the Governor General plays a role in the constitutional arrangement of our democracy. And Mr. Speaker, our democracy is not perfect, but it is something that I will always fight for. There is no doubt that Canadians want the Prime Minister to take responsibility for the flawed process of appointing Ms. Payette. This flawed process has left the taxpayer holding the bag, and I am not okay with that. I also believe that for this specific case, we want an independent investigation into the allegations of harassment at Rideau Hall. In the long term, there needs to be a better plan to keep all of our workplaces safe. The Prime Minister has been heavily criticized for making key appointments, such as the Governor General and other House officers based on politics rather than merit. This is concerning for Canadians, and I've heard that from my constituents. When we look at key roles, I believe Canadians want people that we all can have faith in. When politics and key roles of leadership in our country get mixed up, it makes it harder for Canadians to feel trust in these roles. Now, because of a poor system, we are in a situation where the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Canada is currently assuming the duties of the Governor General. Having the Chief Justice give royal assent on legislation that may one day come before the court, well, it does present a potential conflict. So this needs to be addressed. The solution offered in this bill does not provide constructive criticism that will get us to the next level that obviously this conversation needs to have. Now the Liberals have announced that they will have an advisory panel to help select the new Governor General. This approach for appointing a Governor General was used by the previous Conservative government, but was dropped by the Liberals after they were elected in 2015. While the Conservative panel was nonpartisan, the Liberals have decided to appoint Liberal co-chairs. Well, obviously, this is clearly partisan. Again, how do Canadians trust in a process if it is not fair? If they are not taken out of the partisanship realm and placed as they should be in the nonpartisan one? This is a lot of taxpayer money being spent, and quite frankly, Canadians deserve better. I have some constituents that tell me they don't want a Governor General anymore and that the ties with the Queen of England just doesn't fit what Canada has become. I think that this is a very worthy and important debate to have. However, again, this bill does not provide any meaningful space for this dialogue. It is time for the Prime Minister to show Canadians that there is consequences for employers who create toxic workplaces and abuse their employees. Our former Governor General should be disqualified from receiving a gold-plated pension and a lifetime expense account. So, Mr. Speaker, in closing, I just want to say I hope in the future we have bills that provide actually information to address these key factors. When we debate in this House, we have to talk about solutions that will be long-term and not undermine the democratic process that we have in Canada. Thank you.